Hi, I'm Simon, and this is my neighbourhood. And we're in lockdown just like everyone else. But we've got a problem. I'm ill, and I can't go out to get essential supplies. And my fridge is empty. Luckily, Susie is also in my neighbourhood, and she's going shopping tomorrow, so she could pick up some supplies for me. But how do we connect the two of us together? Introducing Shop for My Street. Shop for My Street works for customers to be able to request groceries through the Power Ups form, and that will add them to a grocery list. And volunteers can go into this form and also go into the app and also see the list of items in their neighbourhood that are needed by people. They can then pick them up as part of their shop and deliver them to those people in their neighbourhood. Hello and welcome to Shop for My Street. The objective of this app is for people to be able to deliver essential supplies to others who are in lockdown or unable to go and get their own groceries. It's also to be able to reduce food waste during lockdown. So the audience for this app is threefold. Firstly, those people who are isolated or in lockdown who are unable to go and get their own supplies. These could be elderly people, people who've tested positive for COVID, or carers or NHS staff who don't have the time to be able to go and get their own supplies. Secondly, it's volunteers. So anyone who's able to do their shopping errand. So if they're going shopping for themselves, they can go and pick up a few extra things for others in their neighbourhood. And lastly, for the suppliers. And this could be any household or organisation that has an excess of food that they want to be able to supply to that first group. In terms of the app itself, we've gone for a clean, uncluttered design for a bare minimum of features to make it easy to use, very simple in terms of functionality, and also make that accessible. If we start with the profile screen, so here you can create a profile either as a customer, someone who needs grocery supplies, or as a volunteer, someone who's able to go out and do the shopping. So we put your address, and in a future version of this app, we will be able to also filter with a postcode finder and filter for when you do your shopping to filter for those customers who are in your local area. We can put an email address. You can specify any allergies if you're a customer, so any particular things that need to be taken into account for the shopper. And then also whether you are in this profile as a customer and or a volunteer. So you can do either. And there's an option here for you to go in and see previous orders. So let's start this journey as a customer, so someone who needs some grocery supplies. So we go into my shop. We say when we need to receive the shopping by. And then we can go in and specify which items we need. So let's say we need some gin, a loaf of bread, and maybe we need some almond milk. So we've limited this to essential supplies and also those products which suppliers can introduce themselves. So once we've added those items, we can go into our basket, we can see what it is we wanted to order, and then click on confirm order, and that will go in and place our order into the database. And now let's look at this app from the perspective of volunteer. So someone who's going shopping on a particular day and is able to pick up a few extra items for people in their neighbourhood. So we click on volunteer and we've set up as a profile already for a volunteer. So we say when can we go shopping and we specify a date. And then we look at how many drop-offs we can do. So how many people we can drop off items to. And also it's important here for us to specify whether we've been in contact with anyone with any of the symptoms. And if we, as long as we specify no to that, if we specify yes, we're not able to continue. But if we specify no to that, so we're saying we're going shopping today, we can do 2 drop-offs. Then what we will see here is a list of all of the orders in the area where we've got where the order requested date is within the date that we're going. So it's people who need their shopping by today. And also the list of the customers. So if we said that we could do 2 customers here, then we can see those 2 customer orders and we can see the total cost of that shop on there. So we can click on start shop and then we can look at shopping complete and we can then see who the customers are that we need to deliver to. So there's 2 customers. We said we'll do 2 drop-offs. So we can see Samuel and we can look at the orders that we need to, the things that we need to drop off to Samuel and the things that we need to drop off to Rishi. And then we can zoom in here and mark the delivery as complete, and that will update the status of that delivery. And lastly, let's have a look at the app from the perspective of a supplier. So someone who's got a household or a shop who's got some excess food that is potentially going to waste. So if we click on suppliers, we can give a name for the product. So actually let's put in giraffe. Let's give it a category of animal and subcategory of tall. Product size, actually let's give product size tall, and we'll give it a category of African. And obviously this is just some dummy data. Click on submit item. And now when you go to my shop and we say when someone's going in and looking for a shop, they should be able to see that item in there as well. So we should be able to see then we've got a giraffe there, and we can add that to the order in that order there. Thanks to Susie and the Shop for My Street app, Simon is now happy. Let's take you through a little bit of our journey for building this app. So we started off with some ideas brainstorming, had lots of ideas about how to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic crisis and what we could do to help our local community. We then, once we've filtered down on this idea, we looked at the scope and we wanted to make sure that we filtered down to have a minimum viable product. We did wireframing using balsamic wireframes here to be able to look at what this app would look like from the different perspectives of the consumers. And then we started building. We had some real challenges with this because it was one of the first times we were using CDS, and CDS with Canvas apps, it says here is awesome. It's also quite painful, but this was a real fun challenge for us to overcome. And if we had more time on this app, we'd look at building things where we could add a postcode finder and do geography-based filtering, so we could filter for customers only in a particular area for our neighbourhood within a certain range. We could look at adding expiry dates to that excess food, so making sure that people order the food within that date, and giving the volunteers the options to choose the quantity of items they want to get rather than fulfilling entire orders. We'd also want to look at extending the range of suppliers. So rather than just shops, we could also have, for example, farms where people could go and pick fruit and veg, or have particular stores that they want to get items from. And finally, we have a Power BI management app for the management at Shop for My Street to be able to see the effectiveness of the application and the number of orders that are placed through it. So we can see the total number of orders, the customers, volunteers, products, and the total cost of products that have been ordered. We can see that over time, filter on specific dates and see the dates that are highlighted where there's high volumes of orders, and then clicking on any of those, we'll be able to drill down into the orders for those particular days, as well as a region where we can see where those orders have been placed. Hovering over the products, we can look at which customers have ordered those products, and could also drill down into the details of categories and subcategories to be able to look at those. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoy using Shop for My Street, and we look forward to any feedback that you could provide on how we can make it even better.